Hi, I'm Red Fox.
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Andy Welsh, and...
You thought we were going to go one by one.
That's it.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Andy Welsh.
I'm James Pugh.
And I'm Andy Chubblemans.
Don't get confused. There are two Andys.
And one of them
is fake. Can you decide? Today we watched Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
It's great.
From
1994.
1993.
All right.
1993. This is what we had to say about it. What do you think, Ryan?
I was just deep in thought the entire time the movie was going. I was just wondering how they could get away with what they did to Super Mario Brothers. It was just criminal.
What do you mean? I thought it was great. Did you see those Goombas?
Super Mario Brothers is a film that takes place in New York City in the 90s, after Ninja Turtles came out. The movie.
But it's not Ninja Turtles. It's Super Mario Brothers. Well, the movie opens up with a brief backstory by Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
By Homer Simpson explaining to you what happened. It turns out, in our past, when the meteorite that destroyed the dinosaurs happened, it in turn created a parallel dimension where...
Actually, you know what? One thing about that is I noticed at the beginning it said, what if it created a parallel dimension? So really, this whole movie is all just based on a what if from the narration at the beginning. So that right away took me out of it.
But that's what made me more into it, because Super Mario Bros. 2, as we know in the U.S., was all just a dream of Mario. So what they were doing, it was Marioception. They were telling you a joke, you know, of Mario.
I didn't even think
in
about
his
that.
dream.
Let's talk characters. Who did you connect with? Who did you relate to? I was having trouble personally because here we had, you know, our two protagonists. One is Mario, which I assume everyone thinks they're supposed to identify with, but right away, he's very strange character. Just grumpy.
Why would you say that?
He has a hot girlfriend, but he's got like a failing. You don't know if it's a failing business. Is it just a '90s, like one of those businesses that could just exist because the economy was so good? And, you know, he's got this hot girlfriend. And then, on the other hand, you got Luigi, who it seems like he ends up being the protagonist. But, like, I don't relate to him. Like, and he's not, like, a good person.
But you learned their last names.
That's true.
You learned Mario's last name and Luigi's last name, and I won't spoil it for you. It's Mario. What do you think?
Mario, for some reason.
I just identified with Toad quite a bit.
Toad.
Yeah. Just the way he had the harmonica just out of reach of his tiny neck, but he could still partially play it once in a while.
But it was a reference to how...
reminded me of myself.
But it was a reference to how useless the life of a Goomba really is. If you think about it, a Goomba just travels back and forth in that little sliver of land between those two pipes for all eternity. And the harmonica being out of reach was a reference to that. It was very deep. I don't think you gave him credit.
But he could
And James
still
has
play it. He could still play it. No, go
Yeah.
Well, that was the perseverance of the Goomba spirit.
James does have a point. You know, that this movie is as much deeper than you would initially sort of give it credit for. The disparity between our dimension and the Koopa dimension is just so vast. You know, sure they have cars, sure they have a city with full infrastructure, and everyone seems to have jobs.
And spark cars.
What was wrong with their dimension? I really don't understand.
They were ruled by a tyrannical dictator named King Koopa,
Who was voted into office, as it seems.
So was Saddam Hussein.
Oh, okay. So that's okay. We're going. We're going there with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And the cars were sparking because they represented our reliance on fossil fuels.
mm-hmm.
And so they're saying there's a trade-off. Not anything's free. If you don't want to use your ancestors as fuel like they would have had to, you have to have sparks coming out of your car at all times.
Representing the friction between the classes in their society.
Shut
the
up!
sparks that are caused.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and the other thing now.
Hold on, sorry,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
like that concept. It's like everything you say, I just fucking hate.
You just like I'm looking at Ryan and you get in like you block Ryan. You're like, hey.
Just
Me.
anything, and you're saying like relevant shit. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck you.
Super Mario Brothers is a story between Princess Daisy and Luigi, played by John Leguizamo, as their love interests at each other.
Well, Daisy, and this is another part where I think the movie's so far ahead of its time.
Huh.
Daisy is actually a character in the Mario universe. She's actually the damsel
little
in.
boy? She's a little boy?
She. She's actually the damsel in distress in the Super Mario Land brand of games. So I don't know. Did they get her from this? No, they didn't, because Daisy already existed in the games before the movie. But they went. They went with Daisy instead of Princess Peach to show you, or Toadstool at the time to show you that this was super important.
The reason Mario Brothers is the most important film of our generation is because not only does it poke holes in sketchy business dealers like the character Scapelli, which who doesn't remember Scapelli from Mario Brothers 1 and 3?
Every time, man. You think you're about to complete the level and Scapelli shows up.
Now, my problem, I don't know, did you guys, now of course we can sit here and we talk about how great this movie is, but did you guys see any problems with it?
It wasn't long enough.
What?
It was over far too quick. I really feel like the only thing we could have got more into the Goombas. I really wanted to see 30 minutes more Goombas.
There's just way too much action in the first 30 minutes for me. It was overwhelming.
Super Mario's bold statement about evolution and how when you evolve people beyond current humanity, they all turn gay. That's I'm surprised the director made this decision at such a time when gayness was not as acceptable.
He was forward thinking. See
He was
how
forward thinking.
How great is being gay today?
Promoting evolution, stating that gayness is the ultimate form of evolution. That makes sense to me.
And hating plumbers.
And plumbers that are bad. And also,
Plumbers that are good.
who was doing the plumbing in the dimension, in the alternate dimension?
See,
That's
I
my
had
question.
theories on that.
Because
I
there
was
was obviously
thinking.
plumbing.
I was thinking King Koopa was making the Fungus King perform those duties because he was a fungus ball.
That fungus was naturally cleansing everything, as plumbing would.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is...
Which is just another way that the movie is forward thinking.
It's very forward thinking. Now, the thing that I'm sure is on all of your minds is when they were making these decisions for the characters and the adaptation of the characters to the screen. Because sure, we've all read Super Mario Brothers the book. It was great. I didn't put it down. I couldn't put it down.
It's my favorite book.
But, you get to the movie, the screenwriters are facing very difficult decisions. How to portray someone, say, everyone's favorite dinosaur, Yoshi.
And I just gotta interrupt. The
Please.
way they portray Yoshi in this is just perfect.
They nailed it.
You remember all those times you never thought you were quite safe with Yoshi.
Yeah. Early on in the movie, when Yoshi is introduced as a character, Koopa says, that he's, yes, cute, but if you dangle your limb, I don't know what he said, if you dangle your limbs like an injured
Don't make any,
animal,
like, limbs
he'll eat them.
Yeah.
He'll snap them off. And that brought home to me the true character of Yoshi, which was, don't trust him. Don't turn your back on him for a second. That's what I got from SNES Mario.
Why do you think Mario always jumped on his back? If you're on his back,
You
never
You
have your back
never
turned
to him.
He was also big enough to ride in the game, which was nice. Sort of didn't translate to the movie. I would have liked to see that. Some Yoshi riding going on.
That would have been good. I think maybe it was simply the limitations of. There was no CGI in this movie. I commend it for that, except for the dimensional wall and maybe a couple other little things.
Oh, let me tell you, that dimensional wall.
Oof.
Oh, so scary.
Takes you right in.
Oh man.
I felt like I was going through that
I know.
with them.
When he landed in, I was like, oh, am I in the dinosaur world too? Oh no,
I had
I'm on
to
the
check.
couch. I'm on the couch
Yeah.
with my friends.
Yeah. And so. Jesus Christ.
But let's talk about
so
the real hero.
this movie predicted evolution, gays, and 9/11.
Oh
Should we
yeah.
go into this?
Ooh, that was such a ballsy move by the director.
That was.
Carl Strauss.
We didn't do fact checkings.
Well, most movies shied away from the atrocities. Super Mario Brothers said, you know what? We owe it to the people. We owe it to America to show them the truth. And that's what they did.
Yeah. Before before America even cared
That's how forward thinking.
or knew.
Yeah.
Just they didn't care. The other great decisions I think from the director, from the casting department for this film, was of course Queen Latifah as the power boots woman, number one.
Yes. She was probably my favorite character, next to Yoshi. Next
Yeah.
to Yoshi.
There's a lot of good setups and payoffs. There's you got.
Hold on, man. We gotta talk about the pizza joke.
Okay. Yeah,
Come on. We
of course.
can't do this without talking about the pizza joke.
I
right?
almost felt like this movie was made around
The pizza
the
joke.
pizza joke.
Right? That was the joke when they were sitting down to start a movie. Guy said,
He just ordered a pizza.
yeah.
He said, "All right, listen, guys, we're gonna knock the script out in a day. We're gonna tie up all the loose ends with the director and the ratings tomorrow,
And then finish this cocaine.
and finish this cocaine. And where's my pizza?" And they all, you should have seen that room.
And then Mario Brothers they had to go to Nintendo to get permission, but then Mario Brothers had it.
Mario, yeah.
This movie was so amazing that Nintendo hasn't made another movie since.
Why?
Why would you go out on top? Yeah.
They said Nintendo, people from Hollywood went to Nintendo and said, "Mr. Nintendo, if we make this movie this year, you will never have to work again." So another thing that was interesting was when he makes the guys evolve.
Mm-hmm.
They're smart. They have an increased vocabulary, which is odd because usually vocabulary comes from education, not necessarily
Intelligence.
just raw intelligence. It doesn't seem to do anything. But they also they don't appear to have gotten any smarter. They wreck a vehicle within minutes, and they're back to their old fighting of you get this and I'll get this. No, I'll get this and you get this. That's what I said. Exactly. You know, it's a great joke. We all remember those jokes from the 90s. I think it was in every movie like this.
And I still love it every time.
Every time
I
gets
see
me.
it,
It gets me.
You know what I mean?
It tickles my
You know what I
funny
mean? Every time. It's just So great. And even when they become smart, they can't fight who they are. You know, it's a good message to the kids. It's like, you can change, but there's certain things. You just gotta be yourself, you know?
Exactly.
Fighting with your doofus brother.
And, of course, you're waiting the whole time, the whole movie, I'm thinking to myself, now when am I gonna see Red and Green Mario? And
Me
Luigi?
too. That was all of our questions, right?
Yeah, respectively. And you're waiting, you see Mario's in yellow, Luigi's in red. Well, I mean, what are we trying to communicate here? And then finally, there's that scene where for some reason they have those clothes on, where it's red and green. And they've got the power boots, their characters have completed the full arc.
They need to earn them. Need to earn wearing them.
Exactly.
You couldn't just put them in the suits. They weren't super yet.
Exactly. And in addition, that's also when my mind was completely off. It was, from that point, I just had no connection to any of the characters or the plot or anything. I didn't care. I no longer cared.
See, I disagree. It had me going the whole time. Up until the final moment where Amazon Princess Daisy comes back and sets up the sequel that hopefully someday we'll get. But,
oh yeah. So when does that come out?
I don't know. Hopefully soon.
Is it out?
No, I don't think so. That's why they went out on top, and I hope one day they go back to that well.
Yeah. Now, so the king. What does the king represent? Traditional. I mean, he's basically
He basically
Can you say
represents.
cum on the internet? There's a cum-covered testicle that dangles over an empty throne.
He represents. Be careful what you wish for. People are always saying, "Oh, we want to elect our own leaders. We want freedom." Blah 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 blah. They finally do elect a leader, and what do they get? Anarchy. And who's there to pick them up? The benevolent dictator. If they would have just all fell in line from the very beginning, he never would have got turned into cum bullfrog testicle. But they wanted to elect Bowser, elect King Koopa, and that's what they get. See, people are never satisfied. Just like I don't think most people are satisfied. And see how brilliant this movie is.
Yes, and just the pacing. You know, like you said, when it was over, I was like, "What? It's over already?" And I looked at my watch, and 100 minutes had gone by.
This is not enough, though. You know.
And I was thinking, was that part 1?
Yeah, where's part 2?
Is this part 2? Is it a 3-act? Hopefully.
Is it a trilogy? Super Mario Bros. Trilogy?
A trilogy. There was the setup.
Yeah.
Where Mario, I think the last line of the movie is, "Oh, I believe." As if he didn't.
Yeah.
There was never a time.
In the beginning, though,
He was
didn't
never.
believe.
Did he?
Yeah, remember? He didn't believe in the fungus. He was the one like, "Oh, what's this? This is crazy." And Luigi was always like, "Mario, you gotta believe." And at the end,
Nothing's impossible. How are you gonna? I'm thinking when I'm playing through my NES and Mario and I'm playing Mario, I'm thinking Mario's got the good attitude. Luigi's got the
he's the
negative
scaredy
attitude.
cat, right?
He's the one saying this is impossible. And Mario's saying no, this is unlikely or this is improbable. But it's just reversed, and I can't wrap my head around that. Who am I supposed to relate to?
I think you're supposed to relate to the non-Italian guy playing the Italian, because it's supposed to put you in the shoes of not everyone's Italian, but we can all. Not everyone's Italian. We can all be one of the Super Mario Brothers. See that Puerto Rican?
In conclusion, we'll
We
give our
didn't talk
final
about.
thoughts.
We didn't talk about my third favorite character, King Koopa's wife.
Oh yeah.
You remember that time
Ooh.
where you had to stop King Koopa's wife from putting the crystal back into the meteorite because it's the only piece of the crystal that broke off when the meteorite crashed into the earth, but then she does it anyways, but she gets electrocuted back into the wall and turned into a skeleton? That was a crazy level.
Remember that level where you have to put the bob-omb down and it walks for 40 minutes
Up
just to get back to where you were and blows up King Koopa, when you remember when you shot the super scopes at him to make him de-evolve, and then he blows up and flies into the bucket again.
Do you remember that time where Mario committed adultery with Queen Latifah in the nightclub?
Remember that level where King Koopa's wife stabs Yoshi in the neck, but it doesn't do anything to him?
You guys are great.
Remember that time where you had to go through the interdimensional vortex to get to the high-tech city?
Remember that one level where you have to jump just right so that your belt hooks on to your hook, and then you have to put in all those responses to conversation options to convince Mario to jump?
Remember that time at the end of it when you had the dinner party with the girl you cheated on in the dinosaur land? Remember the time when you had to talk to the fungus ballsack frog guys because his daughter was right there?
Remember that one level that was like a rhythm game where you had to dance with Queen Latifah and take off her necklace while doing dance moves?
Remember that time where you caught Bowser making Goombas from people and then were forced to make them dance in an elevator?
Oh, yeah. Remember that level where Scapelli's goons sabotage the plumbing and you're the only one who could fix it in time?
Remember that time when you had to save your girlfriend from the rape room?
In Mario 2?
Remember that level where you were going down the slide with the Goombas behind you and they
It took me forever to figure out. All you had to do was put the wrench down in the hole and it'd frost them in the face with icicles.
And then they started having sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part. Do you remember? I remember that level. It
My
haunts me
little
to this-
sister used to watch me play those levels, and we tried to figure it out for
It haunts me to this day.
hours on end. And the solution's so simple. All you gotta do. I ran out of jokes.
Oh, damn. We're still talking about the wrench thing. This is going to be the wrench.
I was gonna do a new one.
Oh, okay.
So in conclusions, my final thoughts are that everyone needs to see this movie, whether you're a Mario fan or not, whether you've read the books or not. See this movie. You'll grow. It'll make you grow, and I don't mean by eating a big mushroom. James?
I think you have to see this movie. I couldn't agree more with. It's great. It's just amazing. It's so deep, and it just makes you respect and admire Mario so much more. It's a 10 out of 4. Couldn't love it more.
Can't put a number on it.
Yeah.
He sucks, dude.
See you guys next time.
See ya.